Hi, welcome back to my channel. Now have a seat followed by a sip, and please don't forget to leave a tip by liking and subscribing to your girl's channel. Today has been a very important day to me. September 15, 2024. I have been baptized, okay? Baptized in the Pacific Ocean, and it's been a long time coming. And as I reflect, because it's 12:41 September 16th, so I still have not went to sleep. And quite frankly, this has been on my heart and on my chest to convey to the public because one, when I first left Queen Naija's house, I wrote something on my YouTube. I said, when you curse your womb, curse your womb, you curse yourself, something of that nature. And I never spoke on my experience at Queen Naija's mother's house regarding my baptisms, my two baptisms within 2 weeks, a 2 week span of her, of being at her house. So I'm going to start off with a nice scripture. Revelations chapter 12, verse 11 says, "They triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. They did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you who dwell in them. But woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has gone down to you." So I just want to say, this video is not to get my get back. This is solely for me and moving forward, and really just using this as a way to help someone else if they were ever in my situation of, getting baptized and giving their life over to Christ. So, I went to Queen Naija's mom's house. I would give you backstory how I got there. Maybe I should, but I'll do that another time. I'm just going to get to the meat and potatoes. I went to Queen Naija's mom's house around like May 15th, 2021. So my baby wasn't even 2 years old yet. She was probably like 18 months. And when I got there, things were good. They were good. Mama Bulls, I would call her Reava, but that's not her real name. And this isn't to expose, but I don't feel right calling her Reava when I know that's not her name. I'm not going to give you her name because that's not for me to give to you. That's her own testimony and her own self. I'm just going to say everything I'm saying here is alleged, okay? It's alleged, but this is my testimony. Again, today I just got baptized, and it's time for me to untie my tongue, and it's time for me to speak, and it's time for me to bury this. So again, this is impromptu. I didn't write anything down. This is just off my heart and off the dome and off the truth, the good, honest truth, the God, honest truth, the God, honest truth. Because again, I never spoke on it. She did videos. You guys can go check out those videos. I never spoke on anything. So it's time. So again, May 15th, I went to Canton, Detroit. Yeah, Canton, Detroit. And Reva Bulls and Tina came and picked me and my 18-month-old up from the airport. We went straight to Walmart. And I felt elated that in those times I had someone there for me because, and I'm going to give props where it's due, because one, my mother-in-law was in the hospital and my ex-husband had to go to Houston, Texas. Me and baby girl stayed back in California. So when I got the offer to come to Canton, Detroit, I took it because I'm not going to lie to you. I was drinking heavily. I was nervous for my mother-in-law. I was sad. Um, I was confused. And even though I wanted to go to Houston, I felt like my ex-husband needed to go be with the family and sort things out the way they needed to be sorted out. She was on life support at the time. This is around same time as like COVID-19, and it was just a really rough time. So when Miss Bulls invited me out there, I took the opportunity. We went to Walmart. We went food shopping. It was really good to see them. It was all good vibes. It was all great vibes, actually. So yeah, we decided to go to church, and the church was a pretty small church, you know. When I went to the church, I did something that I didn't think I was going to do, but I got in front of the congregation and I publicly apologized to Miss Bulls, because when I was online, I used to always defend Queen Naija, right? And I would always speak my unpopular opinion about things that her mom was doing or not being appreciative for, because Miss Bulls had just gotten a Dodge Durango and she wanted some other car. But Queen got her a Dodge Durango, and I was going online saying, hey, like, Miss Bulls, how you going to be unappreciative that she got you, you know, a Dodge Durango? But at that time, Miss Bulls felt away, because it's like, how dare she buy a car for Clarence, that the car that he wanted, but she didn't buy the car that I wanted, you know? So she kind of felt slighted or whatever. So yeah, I was up there like, how dare you? How dare you, you know, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I went in front of her church, her congregation, and I apologized for, you know, my assumptions and my opinions, and everything was good. Everything was good. Speaking of, I just want to say I stayed at her house for a duration of like 2 weeks. It was only supposed to be a week, but 2 weeks. We'll get there. Yeah, after that, her church was okay. Like I said, I was in a vulnerable situation. I'm gonna give props to Miss Bulls, because she told me, she's like, if you come to Canton, there's no drinking, there's no smoking. This is a dry house, even though Tina and Terrell was still smoking, you know. But for me, and she was doing it to help me, and I was going to oblige to it. So I do thank her for, you know, her holding me accountable for me being such vulnerable time. She's like, you can't do that around me. Cool. Anyway, something had happened. Well, I'll say this. So after church, the first time after church, I'm in the car with her, and I have Autumn, and Tina and her are talking about the church overall. Some things good, some things it's like, you know, Tina felt away because at the time she was allegedly lesbian, and I guess the pastor didn't want her to be in the pulpit because of that. And you know, there's making slight jokes about people's tongues, you know, when people catch their tongues in there. And me, I ain't gonna lie, I'm laughing. I don't know ish about ish, but I think it was a pretty darn experience to be around a celebrity's mom. This is how I was thinking then, like that. And then it's getting my mind off of my mother-in-law being on what's those machines. She was basically going brain dead, but she was on one of those machines. So wherever I could get a laugh, I was getting a laugh. So yeah, I'm laughing, kiki and haha and things of that nature. And but at the same time, you know, it's like, oh, how's the pastor up there? He's young, yada yada yada. I'm not even in the back of my mind, like, damn, we just left church, and We talking about the people in church? Okay, you know, all right, cool. But it was in the back of my mind, like, but again, in one ear, out the other. Something had happened. Well, let me give you some filler in between. So we would go home, and Miss Bulls and I, we started to get very close, very, very close. She shared a lot with me. I shared a lot with her. There's some things I would never repeat because it's not for me to repeat. And this is why I could not speak then, because I was at an angry place with her. And if I had told my testimony after I left her house, I didn't want to be responsible for anything that lady chose to do to herself or to others around her because of me saying things. So again, there's some things I can never speak on. There's some things I will speak on because it's involving my testimony. So yeah, we would go home. Miss Bulls would always cook food. Chef's kiss. The lady can cook. She could throw down, okay? She would cook, and when she would cook, we would sit down, and I'm not gonna hold you. One of her pastime favorite things was to watch tea pages. And I need to hold my Bible because I ain't lying, but allegedly. At the time, one of the tea pages was Miss Barr's TV, because Miss Barr's TV and she was anti-Queen Naija, and I was always in Queen Naija's corner. So she would always hear the unpopular opinion of what was being said of her daughter. And she would sit back and we would watch, and she would give her 1 2 1 2, and I would give my 1 2 1 2. Here it is. I am a T page. So it's like, this is pretty cool. Like, you watch T pages. I mean, she did watch me too, hence why she knew the things I was saying about her. So I'm like, okay. You know, at the time, Queen and her mother were not on good footing. And the reason why is because of, one of the reasons why is because of Clarence. Ms. Bulls and Clarence have a stressed relationship, you know, and it goes all the way back to, having the baby that comes for Clarence and Queen being in the hospital. I'm not going to give too much in it because it ain't my business to tell, but I know enough. So anyway, she would vocalize some things, and I always found myself giving, I don't even want the benefit of the doubt to Queen, but Miss Bulls would be like, you know, no, you don't know. This is how she really is. Ever since she got da-da-da-da-da, she's gotten da-da-da-da, and so forth on. And I'm like, you know, but, you know, and every time I would speak up for Queen, she would take offense to it. But I would challenge her to think in a different perspective of things, you know? Anyway, we would stay up till like 3 o'clock in the morning, sitting at the table, shedding tears with each other, sharing. We have a lot in common, actually, a lot in common. It's almost scary. And with us staying up till 3, 4 in the morning, I'm not going to lie, that would piss Tina off. It got to a point where my presence was starting to intimidate Tina, because here it is. Tina is the same girl that slept in the bed with her mom every night. You know, like, that's how close they are. Like, they're codependent on each other in such a manner as that. And so Tina would go to bed, but she will be texting her mom as we're sitting at the table, like, Mom, come to bed. And then Miss Bulls would tell me, like, Tina's texting me to come to bed, but she can go to bed by herself. Like, she would be like that with me, and I'm just like, I'm starting to think to myself, like, is she not liking that me and you are kind of getting close? And I mean, that's her daughter, so her daughter was very territorial of her mother and stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, there's just some things that I could never speak on, but church hurt and family trauma is a thing, y'all. It's a thing. So there was some tension building with Tina, with me, And I didn't have no beef with Tina, but she had some beef with me because it's like, I don't know if Tina was like seeing a different side to her mom and how me and her mom were bonding, because Miss Bulls and I would work Miss Bulls out, like, you know, doing sundials and leg lifts and stuff like that, because at the time Queen Naija was paying for like a personal trainer, and she got like meal prepping meals for them and stuff like that. But Miss Bulls was not following that. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Every day we was going to McDonald's. We was going to get the little hot dogs, gyros every day, and the food, because they it was a delivery setup from Miss Bulls, Tina, and Terrell, for it to come, and they would have to, you know, eat it every day, but they wasn't eating every day. And so I would tell Miss Bulls, because I would talk to her almost like she's a sis, you know. It's crazy. I'm like, Miss Bulls, like, y'all need to stop wasting all this dang food. And she's like, I know, I want to get better, because at the time, Miss Bulls, I would have to help her up off the couch. And me, I've been a personal trainer before, and I love physical activity. So I love to motivate when it comes down to getting somebody into shape, even if I may not be in the best shape. But, you know, it's like, let me help you help myself. And I see that this woman is eating her feelings, and she's hurt because of her relationship with her daughter. And not only that, it's like, I think around the time there was a bill that came to the house of a receipt of like a Rolex or something. I think Queen got Clarence like a Rolex, and it pissed her off, because it's like, she felt as if, why does this man get all this money? Like, it was the bill for Legend, for when she had Legend. I think she had Legend with the Married to Medicine lady. So that was a pretty large bill. It was another bill for Clarence's watch, because I guess Queen had gifted him some watch. So she's like, she's gifting him all this money and giving Clarence's mother all this money, but, you know, she gets me a Dodge Durango, and she just pays my rent, you know? And I think she had a stipend as well, which I thought was pretty decent. I mean, the car that she bought her was bad. That thing was nice. But again, I understand that's not the car she wanted. So it's like, damn, all these people are getting what they wanted. You know, Clarence's mom had just, I think, like, built up her house, or there was some building that she had did in her house. And it's just like, Miss Bulls just felt like she was getting crumbs close to nothing compared to the people that was around Queen. And she felt kind of like left out, and just, I don't even need to go deep into that. I shouldn't even say half that stuff, but it ties in together. So at the time, you know, we're watching T-Pages, we're talking, we're discussing. It's, you know, some of the stuff that I did challenge her on, she was open and willing to hear it, because again, she shared some things with me. And because she shared those things with me, it was like I was able to help her understand where Queen was keeping her distance at that time. So, you know, like, she would cook Queen food, and she wasn't able to come. Like, Clarence just does not mess with Miss Bull. He don't mess with that lady at all. And I don't know what the relationship is now, but it was so bad that Miss Bulls was not able to go into their home, you know? So fast forward, I'm there, we're going to church. I'm getting to know the pastor, and she's bringing me in the back room. She's getting my testimony and stuff like that. And I, you know, I'm thinking, I'm just so gullible, y'all. I'm just so gullible at that time, and just so ignorant, and just not knowing thyself as so much. You know, I'm building a rapport with this lady to the point where, and I'm going to leave it right there for now. So, something had happened. Baby CJ had just graduated. While I was there, he had just graduated. Like I said, this was like between May 15th and May 30th. And it really hurt Miss Bulls. She cried because she was not invited, and I don't think she even knew that he graduated. So I felt bad too, because I'm like, dang, like, you the grandma, and how you how you don't know that your baby is graduating? He was graduating like kindergarten, preschool, something like that. Some I don't know. But Tina was hurt, Miss Bulls was hurt, and Terrell is just always in between. I'll tell you that. He's always in between. Like, he loved his sister. One thing I can say about Terrell is I never heard him speak ill on his sister, Queen. Never did. Even when they was calling Queen for some money for weed, because they both weed heads, Tina would feel some type of way because Queen had cut them off from giving extra money, because she's like, why am I giving y'all money? Y'all haven't even graduated. And even then, Tina would express herself, but Terrell would just be like, man, it is what it is. So Terrell's always, he's like, and because he's the only male in this, he's like always the balance in it. But, yeah, CJ had graduated, and she felt away. So I ain't gonna lie, I was surprised when she came to me and asked me, because I told her, I said, Miss Bulls, and when I come out there, I'm not gonna do any vlogging, because I don't want you to get the wrong impression that I'm out here for vlogging. I'm out here to just ease my mind, get back to my spirituality, put the bottle of alcohol down. It was wine at the time, put the weed down. So this is a retreat for me. This isn't to get inside scoop to be like, welcome back to my channel, and have a seat followed by a sip, and like, it wasn't that. But once that happened, Miss Bulls started to put bugs in my ear. It was almost like she was giving me consent with asking low-key to speak on it on my channel. My channel was Sunny TV. So, and I still have that vlog. I may post it or not. I don't know. But I wound up putting a vlog up speaking on how I thought it wasn't right for Ms. Bulls to not know or be invited to baby CJ's graduation, because again, even though she was expressing herself to me, it was almost like, do what you do, girl. You have the gift of the gab. You know how to get the word out there. And I'm just like, oh my God, I don't want to, but whatever. Because I didn't want people to be like, oh, she's clout chasing, so that's another reason why I didn't want to speak on it. Anyway, I spoke on it. And I doctored it up for her to look like the woe is me, And again, people was barking at me like, oh, Sunny, how you gonna be in Miss Bull's corner now when you used to call her out on her ish because she did da 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 da. And Miss Bull's mother, I think her name was Queen, because Queen is named after her grandmother. And Miss Queen da 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 da. I'm just like, oh, whatever. So at this time, Tina was pissed off. We're still going to church every day. I'm gonna get to that. Tina was pissed off. So Miss Bulls started to express herself, and if I can be honest with you, and I don't come from a shady way or being rude or disrespectful, I don't hate the lady or anything, but when Miss Bulls don't got no makeup on and she don't got that wig on, I see the precious mom underneath her, like the bitterness, the meanness, the bulliness of it all. So her and Tina are going back and forth. I'm just a fly on the wall. And she's like, no, I'm tired of holding my tongue. Somebody needs to say something. And I'm going to take accountability on this. I'm like, Tina, like, I'm going to, because at the time, they had been cut off financially. Tina was. She won't get no money like that or something like that. And so Tina was like, I'm about to make this money. She had a YouTube channel with Terrell. I think it was called Tina and Terrell TNT or something like that. And she starts to pull out the camera and she starts speaking. Now, as she's talking, Queen Naija's mom is like, and make sure you say this, and make sure you say that. Like, she feeding her the information. And as I'm watching it, I'm going to be very honest with you. Tina is not that articulate, right? And she was very angry, very angry. So the way she was speaking, it came off very ignorant. And that's when I decided to jump in because, look, I'm a content creator. I know how to speak or articulate myself in a way that I could get my point across without having to do too much. So now we all three working together. Miss Bulls, myself, and Tina. Now it's almost like I'm anti-Queen. Now I've been sucked up into anti-Queen Naija. So Tina has these buff glasses on. And, you know, I'm sitting in front of her. And as she would say something, I would be like, no, Tina, say it like this. Use this word because you're using too many words to get to the point. You know, Tina, compose yourself in a way of you don't come off that you're being angry. Tina, don't curse, don't swear. You know, that type of thing. So now I'm Mona Scott Young in this thing. I am Mona Scott Young. I'm telling her everything to what to say. So now Miss Bulls is telling her what to say, and I'm telling her how to say it. So I'm tired. I'm like, Tina, make this a series. I come up with the idea. Make this a series. We don't have to finish this tonight. Do part 1. You're gonna get a lot of coin for this. So why would you just get a coin for one video when you can make it into 5 videos? Cool. She like, that's a good idea. I'm just putting the cheese on the cracker. I'm putting myself in where I went wrong too. I ain't got time to be trying to just make it seem like every day was just wrong because I was wrong too. I'm feeding them ideas as well. So day 1, she starts seeing the estimated revenue that was coming from it. Baby is making bank. She want new shoes. Tina got expensive taste, you know? So, this is how Tina and I start to bond. Because as I told you in the beginning, Tina started to grow, like, annoyed with me because of how me and her mom would bond. But I wasn't really bonding with her. But I knew Tina before I knew Miss Bulls. So it was like, maybe she was like, you came here with me. You didn't come here for her. So this is bonding us all 3 together. You know? We all just throwing a little party together. We're going to church still. Spending a lot of time in church. But I'm realizing the more we're going to church, the more Miss Bulls is nitpicking a lot of what's going on in the church. And again, I'm realizing it, but I ain't saying much about it. I'm going along with the game. Because one thing I know about Miss Bulls is if you go against what she says, that's the face you're going to get. She is not afraid to speak her mind. She is not afraid to turn into Precious Mom. Get real gutter snipe with it. You know? So I ain't going to hold you. I became a little intimidated to want to speak up because it was like if I did speak on something that I was against. All right, cool. Now let's get into the baptism because we're going to come back to that. Baptism time. The mom is like, look, you know, we're going to church every day. Do you feel like, you know, you want to get baptized? Because I've never been baptized before. Been in church, but I never baptized before. And honestly, it was like I was double-minded in the situation. It was like, yes, But no, because how she's explaining, because one thing about Tina and Miss Bulls is they know the Bible from the front to the back. When I say the front to the back, they got a scripture off the top of their dome for anything and everything. Anything and everything. And that was impressive to me. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, I I'm I do like this church, but at the same time, I don't know if I'm ready to be baptized. But at the same time, I don't want to disappoint you, you know? But I started to realize that Miss Bulls and Tina wanted to keep taking all the glory. Like, God brought you here for a reason. God brought you here so we can help save you, and we can, blah, 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 blah. It was always about what they were supposed to do in my life. It was like they were trying to take the glory for me getting baptized when I did get baptized. So, in a sense, I didn't want to disappoint them. And again, I'm thinking to myself, like, maybe now is the time to get baptized. I have a mother-in-law that's dying, and when she wakes up, I would love to tell her, like, I gave my life to Christ. So it was two things. It was like, yes, I want to be baptized because I want my mother-in-law to be proud of me. And then I want Miss Bulls, who I'm growing very close to be proud of me. But then it's no, because my spirit didn't bear witness to the process that I had to take to get baptized. Now, let's get into the good part. I'm learning things about Miss Bulls. And there were stories that she told me that kind of made me a little nervous and scared. I'm not going to go too deep into that because, again, I'm not here to shun her. And I'm not here to be nasty. I'm just here to speak my testimony. So we get in the pulpit, and they start, what is it, tearing with me. I think it's tearing. Excuse my ignorance. And Miss Bulls allegedly told me that it's like I have to say it without wanting to say it, but I have to say it. Miss Bulls told me that allegedly that she used to hear demon voices in her head, right? But she had been delivered from them. But she used to hear demon voices. I'll never forget when she was tearing with me on that pulpit. I'm laying down. They put this blanket over me. And she's like, just keep saying Jesus, 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 Jesus. So I'm saying it. And I'm saying it so much that my mouth is starting to get cotton mouth. I'm saying it so much that I'm getting a little teary-eyed. She gets next beside me. And she starts saying in my ear, Jesus, 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 Jesus. And she would say it faster, and then I would say it along with her. It was like we were saying it in unison. It's so crazy now. And she's saying it, and I'm saying it. And instantly, I start screaming, Jesus, 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 Jesus. And she's like, yeah, come on. Yeah, come on. Come on. And she would say it with me, Jesus, 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 Jesus. And I'm screaming, and now I'm crying. Snot is coming out my nose. It's freaky now that I think about it. But that side that I just released just lets me know that needed to be said. And she's saying, and I'm saying it. But I didn't necessarily catch the tongue. And she's like, it's okay. You're going to catch this tongue before we leave. And I'm like, because I didn't want to fake it, but all I could keep saying was Jesus, Jesus. And when she would say it, we were saying, and when she would say it and I would say it together, it's like I would get angry. Like my face structure would move, like my nose would move, my lips would tremble, my eyes would twitch. It was almost like, and I'm speaking for today because in the moment I didn't think like that. It was almost like she was passing on her demons to me. It was like it opened me up in a vulnerable portal for her to pour into what she had on her spirit, laid on her spirit, onto me. So even though I didn't catch tongue, she's like, you're about to leave. Do you want to get baptized? I'm like, yeah, because at that time I'm thinking, well, since my face started to quiver and I'm crying, maybe that's God's way of saying like he's trying to get through to me, because at this time her church is telling me things, they're prophesying or maybe prophesying, I don't know, but they're telling me that there's altars all around me, and there's altars that somebody in my family has built and made many altars. So that scared me. And they were saying, and the altars, when I was saying Jesus, Jesus, Jesus with her, the altars were burning down. So I'm just like, ooh, like I need to get baptized, because I ain't gonna hold you. My mom's ex-husband did Santeria. So maybe it's him doing the work, the witchcraft. So I'm like, yeah, let's get baptized. So today it was the first church. Now this is the first church, I get baptized. She's recording it, putting it on live. And I think I got baptized on live. I had to wear white, wear something over my head. And honestly, it was very unorganized. But before I went down in that water, I felt like there was people around me who was looking at me like they didn't like me, So I already felt kind of weirded out that there's people watching me in the church that don't like me, because maybe Miss Bulls told them about me and they're like, don't trust her or whatever. I don't know. But I already kind of felt weird. So when I went down in that water and came back up, I didn't catch the tongue. But I remember the pastor told me, she's like, because it was the pastor and then her son is also a pastor or something like that. Excuse my verbiage. But I don't, different hats and stuff like that. So, I just remember her saying, you belong to us now, And I'm just like, wait, why does it feel like everybody's trying to take the glory instead of giving the glory to God? It's like I'm now in a covenant or something. It already was weird to me that when they had me saying Jesus, 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 there's people that's speaking tongue around me. It just felt like a freaking cult. That's how it felt. So we get in the car, we go home, and Miss Bulls is kind of like asking me, how do you feel? And I'm like, I feel okay. I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't really feel anything. I just felt like I went down in that water and I came up. Like, it was cold. The way it was even put together was unprepared anyway. It was like they was trying to hurry up and get me down in that water. So Miss Reava goes on and she starts to critique that when I went down in that water, it wasn't the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. They put me down in that water in a different way, and she didn't like that. She said, no, they didn't do it right. And that made her very upset because she felt like I didn't get the full experience, and that's why I didn't catch the tongue. Now, we go home. I get bad news. I get really bad news. I get bad news that my mother-in-law did not make it. So not only do I not feel accomplished that I didn't catch tongue. I feel indifferent because they didn't baptize me the right way. And maybe it wasn't time for me to get baptized because I should have known the right way. But everything was like sped up. This is the first week, y'all. This is only the first week. So my ex-husband is like, yeah, mom passed. And I'm like, now I'm messed up. I'm messed up in the game, you know? I'm crying. I'm going to go smoke. I'm having a bad day. Tina's starting to give me the cold shoulder, you know? She's tired of seeing me and her mom eating healthy while she's still choosing to go outside and eat McDonald's. Because at this time, I have Miss Bulls on my program. My program is, look, these personal, private lessons that she's paying, let's go to them. Let's go do it. Because none of them had jobs. Queen was paying their rent. The car was paid for. So, you know, they kicking it. They kicking it. Doing YouTube. Miss Bulls was getting her income off of YouTube, and I helped her monetize. And she was already monetized, but I helped her monetize in a different way. Like, I was showing her the ropes of YouTube. So she was learning a lot from me, and I was learning a lot from her. It was like an even exchange, reciprocity. Everybody went in. So me and Tina started, like, I'm talking to Miss Bulls, and here we are, another day. We're watching T pages about her daughter. Something that really made her feel upset that day was she was watching a video, and Queen was in New York. And as Queen is like walking out or something like that, Miss Bulls felt away because she felt like her fans were worshiping her. And that was a that was a no-no. That was a no-no. She felt like they're taking my daughter's spirit. They're doing something to my daughter. What is going on? My daughter, she sold her soul. This is what she's saying. I'm like, no, that's not what she did. You gotta have faith that if you know, if she's caught the tongue and if she's been baptized, she knows. She knows. These just people that love her. You know? I think around that time, or maybe before, she was already annoyed because Queen didn't invite her to the BET Awards, and she always felt like Queen always thought that she felt insecure that Queen didn't want her around her because her mama was big. And Miss Bulls is a heavier set woman. She's a beautiful woman nonetheless when she puts herself together. But, you know, like I said, it took for me to pull her off the couch, and it took for me to say, like, let's start eating salads. Let's go to this personal training camp that she paid for. We all went. It was good. Everything, it was good. But anyway, she didn't like that. She didn't like that. Not one much. Not one bit. And don't let the grandma come around, because the grandma started coming around, and it was like we was having a gossiping party about Queen. And at this time, I've been shut up so much that when they used to watch the videos, I wouldn't say nothing. And when I wouldn't say anything, they'd be like, well, what you think, Sonny? What you... And I'm like, if I say something, I'm damned. If I don't say something, I don't. Now, Queen Mama come over. And she like, I'm sorry for your loss. You know, we're having a barbecue at my house. I think she stayed in like some type of trailer park or mobile home park. And they invited me over. But this is where I don't want to say too much, but this is my testimony. And on the Holy Bible, because I ain't got to tell the truth, shame the devil. When she invited me over to her house for, I don't know what it was like a barbecue or something, I didn't want to go. Because now, let me tell you why. I didn't want to go because Queen Naija's mom told me something that happened to her baby girl from somebody in her family. Someone close to Queen Naija's mom, allegedly. And this gentleman was going to be at the mama's house, right? So like the first 3 nights when we just pouring to each other, she told me how she bared that, and she knew, anywho, he was going to be there. And why the, I got my 18-month-old girl, why the would I want to be around him because you've forgiven him? See, it goes deep of why Queen keeps that woman at a distance. But that's not my story to tell. And this is allegedly. So I didn't go. I made a vlog instead. And Miss Bulls was very disappointed with me. She didn't know why I didn't want to go, but I had to do the I'm sick. But no, why would I want to be around somebody who did something to Queen? And me, Queen, and Miss Bulls can all relate. Why? You can forgive him, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to put myself in a vulnerable situation. No. So yeah, Miss Bulls don't know. Miss Bulls, I didn't tell Miss Bulls why I didn't want to go. But I'm looking at her side eye, because how can you put yourself around somebody that did something to your baby girl, allegedly? So now I'm getting sick to the stomach. She leaves me at the house. So I'm like, what can I do to make it up to her? What can I do to help alleviate her being mad at me? Because now I got Tina mad at me, or giving me the cold shoulder, to her being mad at me. So I make a video, because Clarence thing popped out and was like, Queen Naija mom got a T page over at her house to do her dirty work. It's just messy, y'all, and da-da-da-da-da, and yada-yada-yada. So I remember Ms. Bulls had gave me some information about one of the T pages. Queen Naija took one of the T pages out to eat with her. So I almost wanted to be like, contradiction, Clarence. So even though hindsight is always 20/20, I do believe that Queen Naija mom did bring me out there to, create alibis for her. Anyway, so I'm like, this lady's already mad at me. I don't have time for this. So what I wind up doing is I make a video and I respond to Clarence. I'm like, Clarence, how dare you call me a T page, but y'all went out to eat with a T page. Miss Bulls did not bring me out here to da-da-da-da, just lying right through my gap, child. Because I felt it. I felt that way. I started to feel that way. But on top of this, I'm still mourning or trying to grasp the fact that my mother-in-law is no longer here with me. And I got these people who was here to support me in the beginning. Now, like, she not getting down with the get down. So I'll make the video. Queen Naija mama come back. And she's like, thank you or whatever. She didn't tell me to make the video. I just did it because I'm just trying to, I don't need 2 people mad at me. Me and Terrell was like this. Terrell was, I ain't gonna tell too much, but Terrell on the outside looking in, he knows what I was dealing with. That's why Terrell be staying in the cut. Okay? So she's like, thank you. It's now time for me to leave. The next morning, I hear her praying and just throwing holy water at doors and crying and just walking through the house and crying and praying. It was just really weird. It was extra. It was just extra. I'm just like, huh? The hell? What, what's going on with her? Anywho. She's like, you can't leave. And I'm like, because I was going to go back home. I wasn't going to go to Houston. I had already had my ticket to go back home. But see, back then, I had coins. I had a husband. I had a successful YouTube channel, so I wasted a ticket. but I did not want to stay longer. But here it is. I'm like, I have to undo the first baptism because now they done baptized me wrong. This is my thought process. They done baptized me wrong. Now I got to make it right. So yeah, even though I want to go, I got to stay. So she's like, um, let's go to another, let's go to the church Chris and Queen got baptized at. So instantly I'm like, wait, so the church that we went to first wasn't the church that we got, huh? She calls up the pastor and she's like, hey, do you have time to baptize a person within a week? And they're like, sure, we love to save souls, yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, okay, let's do it again. I go to this church. Now this church it's a nice church. The pool was beautiful. The setup of the church was nice. So I'm like, all right, let's stay. I'll stay. Wasted a ticket. Boom. Now all of a sudden, we going to that church, during the day and talking to them and going home and watching T-Pages and stuff because at the time it was on fire. It was on fire with the Clarence clapping back to all of that. Like, it was just a lot going on. So, yeah, I stayed. Now, me and Tina started bucking at me now, Like, man, Ma, why we need her to stay? She want to go, just let her go. And I'm thinking like, yeah, Tina, I do want to go, like, for real, for real. But the mom is like, no, Tina, we got to do this the right way. This is on our hands. We blah, blah, blah. We basically, she was taking accountability for me being baptized in the inaccurate way. So finally, Autumn is asleep upstairs in Tina's room, and I'm like by myself. So now it's like me, Miss Bulls, and Tina. I'm like, Tina, what is your problem with me? I don't got no problem with you. If I had a problem, I say it to you. Like, she just started bugging at me. And at this time, I'm just like, I'm in this woman's house. Like, I can, So I start bucking back at her. And Miss Bulls is like, y'all, stop. We're not doing that. Like, she was the referee. And then Tina would get mad at Miss Bulls and be like, see, Mom, you always taking up for her. Da, 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 da. Like, just like, gosh. She's like a toddler, honestly, And so, because, like, I got up and I was like, you gonna do something. Like, yeah, I'm in your house, but you acting like, you thumping around here like you ready to say go. So let's go. So, Miss Bull's like, cut it out, y'all, cut it out. She's sitting on the couch because like I said, she can't just jump up off the couch, She needed a little bit of assistance. And that, again, this is just honest truth. I ain't got time for the shade and all that. I got baptized today, so it's not even for me to be petty or anything like that. So, I'm going to the same church that Chris and Queen got baptized at now. And I go to a Sunday service, and I see it's more structured. She ain't saying too much negativity about this church, And I'm like, okay, like, I feel comfortable to be baptized. But it's still like, but you need to get the tongue. You need to catch the tongue. And I'm like, here it is. Too much. And Tina, I'll give Tina this. She like, Ma, like, I didn't catch the tongue when I got baptized either. So Tina, this is what Tina did. She brought me to the side and she's like, she shared her testimony of how she caught the tongue. She was like, one day I was just in my room and I was praying to God and I just caught it. And that's how I caught it. So it made me feel good to know. Because after I bucked up at her, it was almost like snow dogs. When you bite the dog's ear, they calm the hell down. She calmed the hell down because it's like I stood up for myself. So, we kind of bonded on that and things of that nature. So me and Tina, we would go and do our little McDonald's run and eat together. stuff. So I'm starting to bond with her a little bit more. But Miss Bulls and I, it was just, because we're both moms, because blah, 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 blah. So yeah, it's time for me to get baptized. So I'm just fast forwarded, right? It's time for me to get baptized, and I get dressed, and I get in the water. At this time, I done heard so much damn tongue that I felt like when I get out, they put me down in the water, I came back up. Lord, please forgive me. Girl, I satisfied their needs, put it like that. I started speaking tongue, but I was not speaking tongue. I done heard so much tongue, because I would be in church and the pastor would be like, speak tongue, and everybody just speak tongue. So I'm like, okay, so I ain't gonna hold you. I feel like some people won't. I feel like people was making up their own tongue. So I was like, maybe I'll keep okay. So yeah, they dump me in that water. I come back up, I'm speaking tongue. But I ain't speaking tongue. I know deep down I'm not speaking tongue. It didn't hit me the way, it didn't hit me like that. I was filled. I know I was filled with the Holy Spirit, but I would not to speak tongue. Like, she go to them churches where they run around the church and stuff, But everybody was so happy. Everybody, it brought the whole house together. The Queen Naija situation, it didn't even matter. Like, Miss Bulls, thank God, she caught tongue. Glory to you, God. And then she speak her language of her tongue and blah, 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 blah. We go to Little Caesar's Pizza and we parking lot pimp. Tina had proud of me. Miss Bulls proud of me. But I'm not proud of me. I just got baptized twice. One, the incorrectly way. Two, to satisfy the needs of two people that wanted me to do something that I don't think I'm ready to do. But hey, it brought unity in the home. So Miss Bulls is like, you can take my car, go do something nice for yourself. So I go to the little China store. I'll get me a little wig. I put me a little wig on. I was there for about like an hour and a half because I hadn't had no breaks for my child, So shoot, I left my kid with her, and that still eats at me still to this day, but you know what? My baby's covered in the blood of Jesus, so I ain't even go down that. Because I don't want to make no assumptions, but when that spirit that was on Tina, we're going to leave it like that. Anywho, but mama needed that break, and I got that well-deserved break. So I take the Dodge Durango, skirt, right up the street, going to the Chinaman store, came back with some supplies. I did Tina and Terrell's hair. I did plaits in the hair, or 2-strand twists. We finished out the Exposing Queen Naija series. And I'm just sitting there reflecting. I'm just reflecting, like, everything I'm doing here is not of how I will want, of sincerity. It's not genuine, It's not genuine. I'm doing something to satisfy two people so they can have the glory instead of giving God really the glory. It's like they wanted we saved a YouTuber from whatever she was doing for honestly telling the truth. Put the cheese on the cracker. Everything I was saying in those videos, it was good, honest truth. It was. But just to satisfy them. And here I am catching fake tongue. Here I am now feeling like I gotta be mute because these people want to talk down on Queen. And that's not what I even came here for. Again, my mother-in-law is dying. And she passed when I was in Canton. So I'm all fucked up in the game. Next day. Oh, no. So me and Miss Bulls, we love to sit at that round table at night and eat our little chips and snacks, eat our salads, and just talk. And again, some things that she told me I'll never repeat. But beneath the makeup and the wig, baby, it's a reason why Queen feed that woman with a long spoon. It's a reason why. And allegedly, Miss Bulls was into women at one point in time. And I felt a way that she didn't support Tina, or she didn't agree with how Tina was living when Miss Bulls was with a woman before, allegedly. So I'm just catching all type of contradictions. I'm hearing comparing and contrasting of how the prettier side of the family looks and how the dad side, which is Tina and Terrell's side of the family, looks. I'm just hearing a lot of stuff. And at this point, I'm just like, I should have never came here. So anyway, Tina texting her mama. Mama, come to bed. Miss Bulls is like, because they be getting underneath each other's skin. They really do. I'm hearing about how Queen Naija's father wanted to take his baby to where he was from, and she did something to stop that, and it had a lot of stuff, allegedly. Just hearing a lot of stuff. Tina texts her mama, Mama, come down, come upstairs, come on. Her mama texts her back. Now, Tina come downstairs, thumping on each stairs, because that's a heavier set woman as well. Marching to the kitchen to go get her some snacks or whatever, some water or whatever, Kool-Aid, because in the house, baby, Kool-Aid runs. And when I say run, it run with the sugar. The healthiest thing they probably did was use that deep fryer. No shade, just all facts. And the food was damn good. Anywho, Tina come down, marching down the stairs, and now I'm sad, I'm mad, I'm angry. I'm looking at this woman like, you're not who I thought you was. Your daughter is just a hating ass female who's very insecure. And maybe what her ex-girlfriend did say about the black marks that was left on the toilet is true, because, you know, it's just all coming. I want to go home, but I stay here an extra week to feel like I did something I wasn't supposed to do. Now I feel like I'm in trouble with God. So yeah, Tina come downstairs. She marching, and now I'm bucking up. I think low-key Miss Bulls was entertained by it. Really. I really do. And now I can probably understand why Queen and Tina don't get along. Because honestly, Miss Bulls, even though, anywho, I'm bucking up now. But it's starting to get serious. It's starting to get serious. So I'm like, come on, whatever we're going to do, we're going to do it. It is what it is. Terrell downstairs smoking. Miss Reava, she done transferred over to the couch. And Tina going back and forth. I'm going back and forth. I've had it. You know, it's not my fault that your mama is not to bed when you tell her to go to bed. So now, it's like they would fight, And then they would get food to go make it up. It was such a weird, anyway. And now it's getting real heated. And Miss River like, all right. She's yelling at Tina because she knows that Tina is just being the aggressor. Like, Tina didn't have to come downstairs to do all that extra stuff. You know? She ain't had to go. It was like she was picking. Now it's like she's slamming stuff. And even Miss Bull's like, do you gotta do all that? You know? So when Tina was barking at her mama, yeah, I started barking at Tina. And I think her mama was pleased by that because their dynamic is their bond, respectfully. Next thing is getting heated between me and Tina. The mama screaming at Tina. Tina started screaming at her mama. Here come Terrell coming up the stairs like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? Stop it. Tina, stop. Next thing you know, Miss Bulls starts beating on her head and crying. Bro, I was like, where am I right now? What the fuck is going on? Is this those demons? Like, what? I've never seen anything like it. She's beating on her head. Terrell goes to comfort his mother. And he starts to, like, go at it with Tina, like, Tina, why you doing this to our mama? You stressing her out. And Tina and Miss Bulls is like, you stressing me out, Tina. You stressing me out. You stressing me out. Go back upstairs. I'll go to bed. And instantly, I go upstairs to grab my baby because what I had seen when I started seeing Miss Bulls beat up on herself, it was sad. It was really sad. And it was scary. And I'd never seen anybody who retaliated on. It's almost seeing a kid get mad at a game because they losing and they start beating up on themselves. She started doing that to herself and I'm like, oh. So I go upstairs and I start crying because I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why is this going on right now? I come downstairs, Terrell downstairs smoking. I'm like, I know this is a dry house, and I know this we ain't no smoking, but past that, me and Terrell in that garage smoking, chiefing. At that point, I needed it. Tina went upstairs. Miss Bull still stuck on that couch. I didn't know what to say to her, but she was banging so hard on herself and allegedly, and it just, I needed to smoke because I know I didn't cause that. But when Tina started going at it and Miss Bull started going at it, that was... So now it's like, I'm smoking, I'm talking to Terrell. I ain't going to speak on too much about what me and Terrell spoke on, but he know this ain't nothing new to him. He knew how to diffuse it. So I'm smoking with Terrell. And mind you, my baby's upstairs, sleep. I bought my plane ticket. I ain't saying nothing to nobody. Next morning come. Miss Bull, she wake up, praying, throwing holy water. I'm just like, what the scary movie is going on? So I'm like, Miss Bulls, I think I need an extra bag, And she like, yeah, you probably do because I think I busted one of my bags or something like that. So she like, Terrell, can you take Sonny to the store? So we go to like TJ Maxx, something around the corner. I bought that bag, right? And I was thankful for Terrell. And baby, just like how Tina made that escape plan, the next day, the day was quiet. It was quiet. That whole day, I had that bag. I started packing. Every chance I could, I would go upstairs. I would come downstairs, watch a little TV, go back upstairs, pack my bags a little bit more. The next day, when everybody was asleep, it was like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Because they get up pretty late, stay up late, get up late. 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, I had to lug 3 bags and a car seat and a baby. Baby, I went to the clubhouse across the street and I went out the, I don't know if it was the garage. I think it was the front door. I went out the front door. I go out the front door, and at this time, Toots is reacting to Queen Naija's video. I mean, to Tina's videos. She's like reacting to all of them. And I'm like, I'm already feeling bad, but I'm away from the house. I felt good just to have all my things and away from the house, right? Hold on, sorry. I'm away from the house, 3 bags and a car seat. I call Queen Naija mom, Miss Bulls, and I told her, I'm like, hey, Miss Bulls, I decided to leave. I'm gone. Make sure to lock the door. I called her, and she was like, I wish I could have seen you before you left. And no, I don't want to see you leave, and all this stuff. I'm just like, after what I just seen last night, I'm out. No. No. So, because I didn't want to just leave the door unlocked. I wanted them to know, like, lock your up, but I don't got the key to lock it behind me. Like I said, it was like 5, 6 o'clock, but I just kept calling till she picked up. So I go to the airport. I get a Uber. I ordered an Uber. Like I said, this is when money was flowing for me. Money wasn't an issue. Shoot, I was filling up the Dodge Durango when they was going low, because they had a stipend, but a lot of money went towards fast food and eating crab broil bags and eating out everywhere. Anywhere you could think of, we eating there. So yeah, I get an Uber, and once I get in the Uber, I'm watching Toot Reacts, and I'm like, She pointed out, I think she pointed out that there was somebody in the glasses, the buffs of Tina, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hit up Toot. So I think I hit Toot on the IG. So I talked to Toot about some things, and I'm like, Toot, that's me. That's me in the video. That was me. I helped orchestrate this. I just started confessing myself, and she like, and Toot and Queen at that time, they had somewhat of a copacetic relationship. So she like, all right, are you giving me permission to tell this to Queen? I'm like, please do, because one part of me is like, Queen mom was spiteful towards her daughter. I don't want to say jealous, but I want to say spiteful. Very spiteful. Very spiteful. When you can sit here and talk with your daughter about your other daughter, and say some things and talk about the bad dreams of, yeah. Anywho, so she like, yeah, I'm going to talk to Queen, and then I'm going to get back with you. I was like, all right, cool. I felt like I was doing the right thing. I was righting my wrongs. So she get back with me. She was like, you can say what you want to say or whatever. It was something along those lines. So at this time, I had posted, like, when you curse your womb, you curse yourself, And people was beating me up in my comments. Like, when I tell you, my subscribers went from, like, it was like, at the time, my page was like 8,000 something. I had like 10,000 subscribers like that. It was so many people subscribing to me, but so many people beating me up like, you being messy. You went to Queen's house for being messy and all this other stuff. Didn't make no video. All I said was along the lines of what I just said. Never made no video or nothing. Instantly, I'm just like, I'm over YouTube. I'm over YouTube. I just lost my mother-in-law. I fell out with one of my good friends on YouTube, Sean Davy Way, just a couple months before that. Then something told me that Sean Davy Way and Miss Bull started. Anywho, so I posted that, and then when people started beating up on me, I'm like, I said something along the lines like, I don't know why y'all beating me up. Queen gave me permission to say what I wanted to say. Like, she gave me permission. Child, when I said that, Sue called me and was like, hey, yo, what you doing? What you say? And I'm like, because I think I said something like, I don't know how I said it, but child, the way I said it, it just did not look good on Tooth's behalf. And again, still to this day, I still apologize. Like, I was just such an emotional rut with everything I just experienced. And shoot, hearing Jesus, 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 it was like that voice was in my head. It was almost like I said, she whatever was on her spirit bounced off her spirit onto my spirit with all the stuff that the Tyrion. That is the most craziest experience I've ever had to go through. But Toot was like, man, you being messy, bro. So now I went from having Toot in my corner to me just making a dumb ass decision by speaking in an emotional state and speaking ahead of my word, where it put her in a predicament, you know. And Queen Naija had to come online and was like, she literally said, I do not know Sunny TV. I never spoke to her. Yada yada. It was almost like she covered up her tracks, even though Toot spoke to Queen. And Toot told me it was green light. It was green light, but I was not. That wasn't my position to say. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I hope it does. You know, Queen wasn't even supposed to be in my mouth when it came to the situation. I was just supposed to speak and not include her. But since she included, it just got really messy. Now Martin Lewis calling me. Let's get straight into the drama. And this is why I can respect Martin. Because I spoke to Martin, not about everything, but Martin knew some stuff. And he's just like, girl, this is why I don't do religion. you know how Martin Lewis is. He was like, I don't want to be you. And he's like, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing. But he was, in that moment, he was a real, actual, genuine support, you know. So I always would tilt my head off to him, but he stayed out of it. He was like, this is too dark. This is a lot, you know. And then Miss Bull started to make videos, because whole time she's recording conversations. So she's like leaking conversations of us having like powwows, you know, because allegedly Tina has attempted allegedly to take her life before, and we had got into a really deep conversation. And just imagine having a sister look like Queen Naija, and then you look like how you look, and people always comparing and contrasting. Which still to this day I feel bad for Tina, because it's like people always like, oh, you're Queen Naija's sister? How? You know, like, why you look like that? And she look like this kind of thing. So in the moment of me, I guess I didn't listen to the clip in its true entirety. Because like I said, I'm so effed up in the game. I still got to go home and fly to Houston to bury my mother-in-law. Like, I'm fucked up. I'm real fucked up. I'm crying about this. I'm crying about seeing Miss Bulls allegedly beat herself up in the head. I'm crying about so much stuff. So much stuff. Like, how in the world did I get in this mess? Child. It was just so much. It was so much. And around the same time, I found out my husband was cheating on me, child. It was just a lot. It was like, bam, 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 bam. I want to delete my entire channel. It's the second channel I deleted, but delete my whole entire channel off of this, because I couldn't take the hate. If they only knew half of it. If they only knew half of it. See, I never, like, yeah, I got mama problems, but I never seen a mama. It's almost like wish the way she spoke, because the way she spoke is like she spoke in her scripture tongue, but the way she would speak, it was almost like speaking ill will on her daughter. It's like, are you waiting for something to happen to her? Are you praying on her downfall? It was scary. It almost gave like, what's the lady who killed Selena? Not saying that she would kill her daughter, but that type of energy. It was scary. It was scary to watch. Then the next morning, almost like to see her repent, stumping around the second floor, throwing holy water at doors and walls. It's just scary. Real scary. That lady has a lot of skeletons in her closet, and don't we all? But I understand why Clarence don't let her walk a foot up in their home. Because you got to protect your sanctuary. And I ain't going to hold you. That Jesus, 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 it would just pop in my head like out of nowhere. It's like a chant. It's like something she put on me. And I'm not gonna hold back. For her to be on all fours as I'm on all fours, and she whisper in my ears, and we're saying it in unison, and I'm screaming like the same way she was screaming when she was beating on her head. I literally had to get my spirit right with the Lord, because I don't know who I sold my soul to. Meanwhile, she's concerned about where her daughter sold her soul to. I don't know where I sold my. You took me to 2 churches. One of the churches you bashed. The other church, I persuaded me, like, in a sense, please catch the tongue. Do what you need to. So me being baptized today, well, today's September 16, but being baptized 15, because I didn't want to just hurry up and be baptized. I needed to do the work. I really needed to get to know the Lord. I really needed to, for me, not nobody guiding me, not nobody telling me how to do it, not nobody telling me this is how you do it, going off of my spirit and what my spirit bear witness to. Because my spirit did not bear witness to anything that was going down in Canton. None of it. But I was weak. I didn't know my self-worth. I was in a vulnerable situation. I had no support from family. I was on my own, trying to do what was right for my daughter and for my mother-in-law. And still to this day, the first time I got baptized was that day or the day later, my mother-in-law passed. I still to this day hold that. Like, did she pass because, that's stuff that I still, but when I got dipped in that water today, baby, I let it go. God gets the glory this time around. And only God. And I did the work. So I say this. Be careful of who you decide to let lead you on your journey. If your spirit don't bear witness, do not succumb. Use your discernment. Stand up for yourself, because I'm telling you, these last almost 3, it's been 3 years. This was in 2021. These last 3 years of my life have been hell. And that little voice of Jesus, 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 her voice, baby, that thing haunted me. It haunted me. It haunted me to the point where I fought hard for the relationship that I have with God today, because I knew I didn't want to turn my back away. I knew I could not turn my back away, because that's what the devil wanted me to do. He wanted me to do that, and I wasn't going to go for it. I wasn't going to do it. That voice is not in the back of my head anymore. Be careful who you get advice from. If your spirit do not bear witness to them, mind your spirit. Mind your spirit. Because sometimes people are vessels to pass on their hurt, their trials and tribulations onto you, but they mask it in a way with a scripture. Don't fall for it. Be safe. And I thank God for him forgiving me. I thank God for loving me. And I thank God for giving me another chance. And he is the ultimate. And I rebuke anything that woman tries to do, because the truth is the truth. And I put all of this on my child's life. Ain't no reason to hide no more. I'm a different woman than what I was in 2021. Who I was in 2021 is not who I am today. I would never attack myself. I would never attack myself in such a manner that woman did. To know that she knew who Jesus was, no, that's still demons on her spirit that she's still fighting to this day. But again, her knowing the Bible from the front to the back is misleading. And it's almost scary. There's witches in the church too. Anyway, I'm Sunny. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to you, girl. Love your comments, good or indifferent, down below. And I ain't going nowhere this time. I'm covered in the blood of Jesus. And anything you may say or do at this point, Miss Bulls, Tina, Terrell, whoever else, is nullified. Anyway, Queen's mom always never seemed to support her daughter when she need her to. It's like she wants Queen to lose. That's from Miss Jonick's lifestyle commentary. Sometimes the people that's the closest to you don't want no good for you. And I pray that whatever she's dealing with today, or whatever she was dealing with now, is up off her spirit. Anyway, be safe out there. God bless. Take care.